Dear students, today we are going to solve another numerical example on the design of worm gear. So let me read the description of the problem. Design a worm gear drive to transmit a power of 2 kilowatt at 1000 rpm. The speed ratio is 20 and the center distance is 200 millimeter. So let us write down the given parameters first. Power 2 kilowatt, speed of the worm N1 1000 rpm, speed ratio I is 20, center distance A 200 millimeter. First step, dimensions of worm and worm gear. For this, we are using equation 12.48c from the data handbook, page number 222. This equation is available in the data handbook. Here, velocity ratio or transmission ratio VR is equals to Z2 by Z1. Same equation is used here. So we are calculating the speed of a worm gear N2 using this transmission equation. So it is 50 rpm. Now refer equation 12.51a from the data handbook. This equation. This is for the diameter of a worm, that is d1 is equals to a raised to 0.875 divided by 1.466. So substitute a center distance a value, we will get d1 nearly 70 millimeter. Now pitch diameter of worm gear d2 can be calculated by rearranging the center distance equation. So we will get d2 value is around 330 millimeter based on the first estimation. So let us assume a pressure angle of 20-degree involute and worm gear is a triple threaded. So regarding the pressure angle and the worm gear threaded, nothing is mentioned in the description of the problem. So we are assuming it as 20-degree and a triple threaded. So for this, we have a D1 value from the data handbook. For the triple threaded, a D1 value is around 3 times from the equation 12.46b. For the triple threaded, your L value is 3 times P2 or 3 by M2. The same equation is used, that is D1 is equals to 3 by M. So D1 is known, which is 70, and just substitute the value, we will get module nearly 8 millimeter. Now again we are using the transmission equation I is equals to pi d2 by z1 m. Then we are modifying this equation in terms of diameter of the worm wheel. d2 is equals to pi z1 m. I is already given, which is 20, and z1 is number of teeth and m is the module. So we have a relation between d2 and z1. So d2 is equals to 160 times z1. So we are formulating the table. There, for different value of z1, we are calculating d2 value. When z1 is equals to 1, d2 will be 160. When z1 is equals to 2, d2 will be 320. When z1 is equals to 3, it will be 480. So since the 320 mm is the closest to 330 mm, which is the d2 from the first estimation, therefore we are fixing the diameter of the worm wheel or a worm gear d2 is 320 mm at z1 is equals to 2. So pitch diameter of worm, again we are calculating for the corrected value. So d1 is equals to 2a minus d1. So d1 will be around 80 mm. Therefore z1 is equals to 2 and z2 is equals to 40. By referring equation 12.46e from the data handbook, for the lead angle, we have an equation for the lead angle. It is tan gamma is equals to L by pi d1. We are using the same equation. So that L by pi d1 can be replaced by mz1 by d1. So module is calculated already. Z1 is fixed. D1 is also known. So substitute all the values, we will get a lead angle around 11.31 degree. So now let us write the dimensions of the worm. Z1 is equals to 2, D1 is equals to 80 mm. You refer the table 12.26 in order to write down all other parameters related to the worm gear. So that will be shown here. You can refer the data handbook for the table 12.26. It is available in the data handbook, page number 243. See, page number 243, table 12.26. You have the proportionate values for the worm. So from this, it is a triple threaded. So we are using the expressions for H, LW, and HA, and we have calculated all these possible dimensions, that is face length, depth, addendum, and other related dimensions. Similarly, the dimensions of the worm gear, that is Z2 equal to 40, from the table 12.27, and that is next table. These dimensions are related to worm gear. We can calculate outside diameter, throat diameter, face width for the triple and quadruple threads. So we are using those equations and we are calculating these dimensions. Now, from table 12.29, we are checking for the module 8. For the module 8, the Z2 value is A2, Z2 value is 2, and the D1 value is 80. So this we have cross-checked from the table 12.29. See here, module 8, this is 12.29, dimensions of the worm. They are the standard dimensions. We are cross-checking. Calculated module is 8, Z2, Z1 is 2, and D1 is 80 millimeters. So we got the same things. So it is correct. Now check for the gear strength. So we are using Lavis equation, that is equation 12.53a from the data handbook, page number 223. Page number 223. You have the Lavis equation in terms of FT sigma D CVB capital Y young. So same equation is used here. So assume the hardened steel worm and the phosphorus bronze material. We are assuming the material because regarding the material in the description of the problem, nothing is clearly mentioned. So we are assumed this material, and from the table 12.7, we have noted the allowable stress value for the gear, which is 82.4, and Y2, that is Lavis form factor, is calculated, which is 0.1312, and B is 60 mm. Velocity, because our design is based on the weaker member, and in case of worm and worm gear is always weaker member. We are calculating velocity with respect to the diameter and the speed of a worm gear. So D2 is 320, N2 is 50. So we got the velocity around 0.8377 meter per second. Now, equation 12.53c, this equation, which gives us the velocity factor expression. So that CV is equals to 6.1 divided by 6.1 plus V. So we got the velocity factor. Then substitute all the values in the Lavis equation. We will get the tangential tooth load Ft is equals to 14,330 Newton, which is permissible transmitted load. So now transmitted load can be calculated using an equation. Ft is equals to 1000 P divided by V. So if you substitute all the values here, we are getting Ft is equals to 2387.48 Newton. From equation 12.54, that is the dynamic strength of a gear, Fs is equals to sigma d by m. So same equation is used here, and the dynamic strength is calculated around 2715.5 Newton. Then the allowable wear load, for that you can use the equation 12.628. In the data handbook, you have the equation for the wear load, which is 12.62a. The limiting load for the wear at page number 227, Fw is equals to d2bk. So if you substitute, you'll get the wear load around 13,190 Newton. So you can take the K value from the table 12.3, page number 246 as 0.687. As wear load is higher than the dynamic load, the design is safe. So in fact, the permissible power is 1.24 kilowatt. We can cross check, and later we can calculate the efficiency using equation 12.57b. So if you refer equation 12.57 from the data handbook, here is the equation at page number 225, that is efficiency of worm gearing. Here there are different equations of efficiency based on whether worm drives the worm wheel or worm gear drives the worm. So now here in our example, considering worm as a driver, we are taking equation 12.57b, which is this equation. So efficiency is calculated: cos theta minus mu tan gamma divided by cos theta plus mu cot gamma. Theta is the pressure angle, gamma is the lead angle, mu is the coefficient of friction, which is calculated using equation 12.60a. That requires a velocity expression. For coefficient of friction, you require VR value, that is velocity ratio. So velocity ratio is calculated using equation pi d1 n1 divided by 60,000 cos gamma, and substituted here. So we got the coefficient of friction as 0.0281. So substitute all the value, we will get efficiency about 86.4%. Now heat balancing, use equation 12.63a from the data handbook for the heat balancing, that is heat dissipation. Q is equals to mu Fn VR by cos gamma. So if you use that equation, we will get heat dissipation around 1.9 kilowatt. Then use the equation for the heat dissipated, that is HD is equals to HATG minus A divided by 1000. So where A is the area and the Tg and the Ta are the gas temperature and the atmospheric temperature, and H is the heat transfer coefficient. We have assumed these things, and if you calculate, you will get heat dissipation value around 11.95 kilowatt. Since the heat generated is less than that of heat dissipation, the artificial cooling is not required. So based on the quantity of heat generated and heat dissipated, one can suggest whether artificial cooling is required for the system or it is not required for the system. Thank you.